Hi, I'm Scoot, and welcome to my apartment in downtown New Orleans. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Scoot on the air on YouTube, and I hope you share this with others. We're just starting this now. Um, I'm going to start doing Scoot stories. They're true stories about my career and my life, and many of the stories have a great message. There's a moral to many of the stories. The story that I'm going to tell you tonight is from very, very early in my career. And I thought this was the worst thing that could have happened to me, but it turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I'll also tell you a little bit about um, total poetic justice in the end. I was working for Rampart 102. It was actually WWL FM, the same frequency that was Rampart 102 is Magic 101.9 today in New Orleans. Now, I was doing the morning show, and they put me on the morning show because I was so inexperienced, and nobody in the early 70s, nobody was listening to FM in the morning. It was a dead zone. So we'll put Scoot in the morning. And I started doing a personality show. I started to get attention. The only people doing personality shows were on AM. So I started doing this personality show on FM, and a lot of people just totally wrote it off. Anyway, it started to work. So people started to kind of know who I was. And in the early to mid 70s, I guess it would have been about 74, maybe 73, 74. There was a trend in New Orleans, and maybe you had this where you are, called the Miss Wet T-shirt contest. And it was exactly as the name would imply. It involved women, wet T-shirts, and it was a contest to see who looked best in a wet T-shirt. Now, as you know, when you water down a T-shirt, it's very uh, see-through. So anyway, a guy named Captain Humble, who was really well-established, crazy DJ in New Orleans back then, he was the host of the Miss Wet T-shirt contest. He also worked for the radio station. I managed to get him over. I managed to work with management to get him over to WWL FM Rampart 102. And so Captain Humble was the MC, the host of the event. Some people recognized me in the crowd and literally lifted me onto the stage. And so I became co-MC of the event. After it was over, a big picture of me, the Miss Wet T-shirt contestant, and Captain Humble appeared on the cover of Figaro Magazine, which was a weekly publication similar to Gambit well, not similar to Gambit, but that type of magazine. Gambit is totally different in many ways from Figaro, but this was a big weekly thing. So here I am with Captain Humble and this girl who is a very healthy girl and in a wet T-shirt, so you could see through the wet T-shirt. So here we are, pictured on the cover of this weekly magazine, this weekly newspaper in New Orleans. The radio station at the time was owned by the Catholic Church, Loyola University. This was a huge embarrassment to the Catholic Church. I got fired. Captain Humble got fired. But what happened in the end, and I'll tell you about a little bit of satisfaction in the end, coming up at the end of the story. So what management didn't know, what WWL, this was when radio and television were together. What WWL management didn't know is the radio station aired commercials promoting the Miss Wet T-shirt contest. So I went with my wife at the time, And we thought this was essentially an okay event because the station was running commercials. But top management at WWL, they never paid attention to Rampart 102. They didn't know what the hell was going on. They just put that station on the air. They didn't pay attention. They didn't know those commercials were airing. This is the truth behind the Miss What T-shirt contest. And the first time I was fired. I got fired another time too, but that'll be another story. So anyway, this was very early in my career. So I was devastated. I mean, I was newly married, uh, and I'm fired from my job. So I got a lawyer, and the strategy was easy. It's like, wait a minute, you aired commercials on your station. See, they wanted us to be the scapegoats. The account executive who sold the client and management for the radio station, they didn't want to, they didn't want to take credit for it. They didn't want to say that they didn't even know. So they blamed it all on us. We got fired. However, my lawyer successfully said, you ran commercials on this station for this event, and therefore you approved it, or you did not disapprove it. Anyway, as it turned out, I guess I was off the air, fired for a couple of months. And as it turned out, I got back pay, so it was as if I was never fired. It wasn't a lot of money, but I mean, it was a lot of money to me at the time. And so I got back pay, and so it was as if I was never fired. But getting fired for going to the Miss What T-shirt contest was one of the best things that could have happened to me because I immediately got another job on the Rock of New Orleans, doing mornings on an FM station when people were starting to maybe listen to FM in the morning. And, again, this was just the best thing that could have happened. So, sometimes in life, the worst thing that you think that's happening, the worst thing can sometimes prove to be the best thing. And I talk about that in relation to what we're going through now with the coronavirus pandemic. This is a bad thing. But in the challenges that most of us face in life, there's a gift. So look for that gift in this challenge. And the gift's going to be different for everybody. The gift that I get out of this is going to be different from the gift that you get out of this. But look for that gift because most challenges have a gift for us. But, I look back on that and I mean, it was a great thing to happen to me, getting fired for going to a Miss White T-shirt contest, appearing on the cover. And see, that was another thing that linked me to Captain Humble. I mean, I was new and inexperienced in the business. Captain Humble was well established. And so by me being put on the stage in that situation, it linked me to Captain Humble. That gave me instant credibility very early in my career. So it's a great story. I got satisfaction in the end because the station essentially had to admit that they were wrong to fire us, and so I got a job right away to try to be great publicity. So I appreciate you being with me here on Facebook. That is the truth. Look, these stories that I tell you, Scoot stories, the truth behind the microphone, are all true stories. Sometimes I might not name specific names because some of those people are still with us. But, there's also, when it comes to talk radio, there are aspects of what goes on behind the scenes that, and when I'm talking about behind the scenes, I'm not talking about company secrets. I'm talking about misconceptions that the audience has about talk radio. For example, we're not told what to say. There's no meeting that says, this needs to be your opinion. That is a falsehood. People think that. That's not true. So, these are some of the stories they will tell. Plus, there was backstage with the Stones. There was a Penthouse Pet of the Year. Look, there were a few stories in my past. I've been in this business a long time, and I've been through some crazy, crazy stuff. So I've had people ask me to tell stories. So I'm going to start doing that with my YouTube channel here, Scoot on the Air. So I hope you'll join me. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. I'd love to get to the point one day where I can charge for subscriptions. and we're looking for a way to get some sponsors for this and Facebook and all of that. And don't forget to join me on my radio show Monday through Friday, WWL AM, FM, and radio.com. And if you haven't downloaded the app yet, download radio.com, type in WWL, and you will have me and the station and everybody there wherever you have your phone. It's the really cool new way to listen. And it also has a rewind feature. So within 24 hours, you can rewind something on the show. Um, so it's good. So get the app, radio.com, type in WWL, and you've got us. And welcome to my world, and welcome to our world. And please share this and get others to become subscribers so we can build this. But you know the truth behind the microphone was the Miss Sweat T-shirt contest, and getting fired was one of the best things that ever happened to me early in my career. All right, more stories to come, and then I'll be posting a daily feature here on the Scoot on the Air YouTube account. So stay with us. Thanks for being with me tonight.